Back here on the Rich Eisen Show. Again, we just saw a clip on the television-only segment of Ginny and Georgia Season 3 dropping on Netflix next Thursday, June 5th, which means you could see it right here on Roku. Scott Porter back here on the program. I guess you come here once every decade here on the show.
Yeah, it's been quite some time,
dude, man. Yeah, last time
we used to hang out at the. You know, they used to do these flag football pro-ams all the time,
yes, sir.
like in conjunction with Super Bowl or like playoff time or whatever. Yes. So we'd see each other every single year. They've stopped that.
Were you at, I know. Were you at the? I think Madden used to be behind all that. The video game used to be behind those flag football
Madden
games.
did it, and then DirecTV ran something called the Beach Bowl for a while.
That one.
I think it was you and Moose actually that were like doing one of the Beach Bowls, and I caught a diving catch right over Marshall Faulk.
That's right.
Or Ladanian. It was one of the two of them, and it was called the greatest catch ever in the Beach Bowl. I've actually got the clip still on my phone.
Do you really?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Oh, I still do, yeah. I'll send it to you sometime.
Who threw it? Do you remember who threw
Rusilla
it?
was trying to cover me. I gave him a little head bob, out and up. Right. Warren Moon was my quarterback. Throws this ball, and it was LT. It was Ladanian Tomlinson. I beat him at safety and leave my feet diving.
Scott Porter.
But I played football in high school. I still got the hands, still got some speed.
Let me tell you something, brother. Those were wild affairs. Those were the ones that I used to call were for the Madden video game. There was one up in Malibu that Michael Irvin blew his Achilles out in.
Oh, whoa!
But nothing. The top of the top was Jerry Rice being on defense, and Maria Menounos beat him for a major catch to help win the game.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Jerry Rice more upset.
Dude, I played with the best of the best on an aircraft carrier in San Diego.
Oh, I was there too for that one.
Barry Sanders.
That was amazing.
Dan Marino, Troy Aikman. I caught a touchdown from Marino that day.
Dude.
We had John Randall. I mean, it was like top of the line, every single position. Rice, Owens. It was just everybody. It was crazy. I've got a ball signed from everybody from that particular game. That was like the top of it. That was like Madden 25 or something like that. And then it was over.
And then they stopped. Yeah, they did stop doing that, which is kind of a
Let's
bummer.
do it again. Okay.
We
anyway.
can get that thing started. For sure. I mean, so again, if I recall correctly, you're a fan of the Broncos, right? Or what are you a fan of?
Yeah, I'm originally from Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
We don't have any pro teams. Grew up watching the Huskers, of course, spoken for. Elway in the 80s, watching him, even though he was losing a lot of heartbreak in the 80s.
Yes, he
3
was.
Super Bowls. But I just love the way he sacrificed everything to win. And when he retired, I mean, he led the NFL in wins when he retired.
So you were
the
a
most
Bronco
important
fan
stat.
because of it?
Bronco fan because of that. And but basketball allegiances, I'm a Hoya fan because I'd watch after Saturday morning cartoons, watch the Big East because that's what would come on. Became the Hoya Destroya fan. I was a Ewing fan, and when he got drafted by the Knicks, became a Knicks fan. So, back in the 80s, a lot of heartbreak. In the 90s, a lot of winning.
Right.
And then more heartbreak.
Yes.
But this year, things are looking up for all the teams.
Okay.
So I'm very happy.
So you're a Nebraska Cornhusker fan?
Yes, Nebraska Cornhusker.
Okay, and they've got like a mini Mahomes now, it looks like.
Yeah, Dylan Raiola can't stop, won't stop acting like Mahomes for some reason.
Great.
He's got the glasses. He's got
the hair. He's got the body. He's got the.
He does the same warm-ups. I'm like, what is going on? But I don't fault the kid. I mean, we got to remember, he was in high school 2 years ago with probably a poster Mahomes up on his wall. I mean, he's 1 year removed from like idolizing this guy who's winning multiple Super Bowls in the NFL. I mean, he's only 18, 19 years old. Like, cut the kid some slack.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And he's pretty damn good, though.
Oh,
I mean, you guys are on the up. That's for sure.
Yeah, what I love about it is Matt Rule came to town. He didn't have to work. He was still getting paid by the Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
And he still took the job, which tells me that he wants to coach.
Yes.
And he thinks he can win. Because if you're Matt Rule in that position, you don't go somewhere where you don't think you're capable of doing it. And then we got Raiola this year, a top 20 class.
Right.
Rivals in 247 both say the same, so I'm good with that.
Look at you. All right.
Yeah, man.
And listen, when you play Ohio State, I root for you.
Hey, we almost beat them last year. It's like a lot of close calls, but I hope that this team coming up this year in close games knows that they can win them now.
Well, then, do you root for Michigan when they play Ohio State?
I can't root for either of those teams.
Good answer, Scott.
I want to see good football, but I don't care who loses or wins.
See, now, it's a good thing that my love for you and my hatred for Ohio State, I'll look past that comment.
I love it.
I'll still root for Nebraska when they take on Ohio State. So you're a Bronco fan still to this day? Or
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Bo Nix is a guy that excites you, I imagine, in the way that they played last year and coming into this season? Sure.
100%. Look,
Right?
I'm a Broncos fan who was scarred by reaching for quarterbacks. I mean,
Yes.
Brock Osweiler, Paxton Lynch, Tim Tebow. I've seen it time and time again.
Yes.
So I was a little nervous with Nix. I mean, he's, that's a full-grown man. He played 8 years of college football, So I was like, man, what are we really getting? But what I love about what Sean Payton is doing is, and you could see it in the draft this year as
Yes.
well, with Pat Bryant, team captain at Illinois, with Harvey, team captain at UCF, right? Every single one of our first 3 picks, team captains. Later in the draft, and the undrafted free agents, 4 more team captains. Peyton wants guys who know how to play the game, are leaders, are dependable. He's building everything that he wants, that he used to have as far as his system in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Big-bodied receivers, stretch the field at the tight end. We signed Evan Ingram in the offseason. And then a defense that can come downhill and dare you to make mistakes, knowing that the offense is going to control that ball for a while. So I like what's happening. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but last year was just a changing of the guard in so many different ways. Loved watching Jaden Daniels in Washington. Loved watching all those young quarterbacks have success. So can't wait to see what's coming in the NFL.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you're rooting for the mini Mahomes in college, the real one is kind of standing in your way, professional football rooting-wise, I'd imagine.
Yeah, can't root for him at all. And, just can't
like
wait
the
to see
spite.
the Broncos on the top of the AFC West this year.
That would be quite the surprise, that's for sure. So you're living and dying with the current New York Knicks, I imagine.
Yes.
Sure, right?
Man,
Okay.
grit, resilience. I like this team. Look, Indy's deeper.
Right.
Their point guard's a little rangier than ours, but Brunson is so full of heart. And I think Thibodeau is making the right decisions defensively for the team when he's bringing Deuce in. Seeing Landry Shamet come in and give us some good minutes for the Knicks. Just one game at a time. I love the way the Knicks are approaching these 3 games that they hope to win back to back to back. But yeah, it's been a heck of an offseason. The NBA is back, man. Big way. This offseason has been incredible.
Okay, fantastic.
I mean, this postseason, sorry.
Well, no. The whole season has been great up to this moment. So Ewing's
going to be crazy, too.
And Ewing's the one who got you into the Knicks because you were a Georgetown fan.
Yep, watched him in the Big East. It was so cool. Saturday morning cartoons would end,
Big
and
East,
then
man. The
hip hop
Big East.
music comes on, and starter jackets start rolling out on the sidelines, and I'm watching Big East basketball from Nebraska, going, "What is this? What am I seeing? I've never seen anything like this." And it got me really into it.
Yeah, the Hoya Destroyer.
Hoya Paranoia.
All of them.
was
UConn.
running
I mean,
wild.
Ray Allen was there during that time.
St. John's.
Oh, no,
St.
this
John's.
was before
Felipe
Ray Allen. though.
Lopez.
This was the Ewing era.
Oh, this was the Ewing
Yeah,
era.
I know, but I'm
This
talking
was
about
Chris
even
Mullen
afterward.
and-
Chris Mullen and St. John.
St. John's.
Oh, yeah.
And,
No, I watched. Listen, I once I was a Hoya fan, man. I was treated to center after center. We had Mutombo and then Mourning and even Big O, Othello Harrington, and then we got AI in the late '90s. I mean,
right.
it's been rough though.
talking my
Since Otto
language
Porter
right
left,
here, man.
it's been about a decade of roughness. Hopefully we can get the Hoyas back on top, but everything else is looking good for me.
Well, I know he's talking your language, TJ, not just as he likes the Georgetown Hoyas.
Me and you should be
But-
best friends, I think.
For sure. Well,
Did we just become best friends?
We may
I think we
have.
just became best
this
friends.
is like
wonderful.
stepbrothers right here, for sure. Let's go to Catalina and have a wine mixer. I mean, and we could bring the meme of TJ Jefferson's favorite teams. It's like we should create one for you,
Right.
Because TJ roots for so many teams. There it is, right there. We created
I
it.
love this.
There it is. I mean, this could be you, right? Like, Denver and Nebraska and the Knicks. And who else do we have? Who else are you rooting for?
The KC Royals.
KC Royals.
Yeah, we had the AAA Storm Chasers in
Okay,
Omaha.
we got the
so
Storm
that's,
Chasers. We got them.
Yeah.
Okay, very
the New
good.
York Rangers.
The New York Rangers?
We took a step back this year.
Now,
but-
is that because the Knicks, it just cascaded over?
Yes, it did. It
very
did.
good.
And the Rangers are, when you're in Nebraska, television dictates, like back in the 80s, people don't understand.
Yes.
Especially the youth of today. You could watch one game. Like, that was it. There was one game on TV. And whoever's on that channel is,
That's
I
it.
mean, eventually you're going to start. But one thing I knew was I hated all Chicago teams because of WGN. And they were on every week, every game. The Cubbies were on and the Bulls are on and everything. The Blackhawks are always on.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hate all these teams. Who is their rival? Knicks. All right, well, Rangers. Yeah, I'll go Rangers. I wanted to root against
Yes,
all
that
the
makes
Chicago
sense.
teams.
By
So
the way,
I
like that for sure.
Yeah.
Being a Ranger fan myself, Marshall Faulk grew up in New Orleans. He's a Braves fan because TBS. That's all he saw.
100%.
He would pop it on. He didn't have the adverse reaction like you had, watching Chicago.
Right.
But he just saw the Braves and he's like, okay. And it's just interesting because normally folks in New Orleans hate Atlanta.
Well, how could you root against that pitching and Chipper and all that stuff going on?
I guess so, for sure. So I guess we could also put a Dylan Panthers, banner up there as well. How much do you still get Friday Night Lights stuff to you, Scott?
Streaming has been a real blessing as far as a show like Friday Night Lights. We were canceled twice. Like, we literally didn't have the ratings.
Time.
Yeah, I know. So was I.
Yes.
Thank you for being there with us. But
Right.
the fans sent light bulbs to General Electric, who was, the overseeing parent company of NBC at the time.
Right.
And they're the ones that decided to, cancel us. So fans sent light bulbs with a campaign called Keep the Lights On. And we came back, and they canceled us again. We came back because of DirecTV. But over time, streaming has allowed the next generation and the generation after that to pick up the show. Mm-hmm. And there's something just very timeless about this small town, them fighting to break the cycle of the failures of the older generation being, foisted upon the shoulders of the younger generation through a sport like football. And it's just everybody, it resonates with younger folks, with older folks. It really is the widest ranging audience for a show I've ever been on. And it's just really, really cool. And the thing that I really love about it is there's pretty much a fan of Friday Night Lights in any front office and any major sports team anywhere. Okay. And I've been able to parlay that into quite a few free tickets. So it's the one thing that that this acting career has given me is tickets to sporting events.
Oh, no.
I've seen some fantastic. I was in Toronto filming Ginny and Georgia.
Nice.
And
season 3 coming out next Thursday.
June 5th. Everybody tune
on
in,
Netflix.
please.
Yes.
My character is from Boston, and I have to wear Red Sox gear, and I have to wear New England Revolution, which I wanted to give the MLS a shout out. So I was like, give me a Revolution shirt, please. At least get me out of this Red Sox gear.
Nice.
But anybody from Boston, anybody Massachusetts, that's where the show's set. So tune in if you're from Mass. I was in Toronto. And I called Maple Leafs for puck drop Saturday night season opener against the Canadiens. And we were laughed off the phone. They were like, you're trying to get tickets to that. That's the toughest ticket in all of Canada.
Yes.
That's and then somebody called back and was like, wait. They said Jason Street wanted a ticket. So we're going to get you there. So 6 got to go puck drop sitting right behind Domi. I was sitting right behind Ty Domi. I'm like, this is insane, But this kind of thing has been so cool, man. I when I'm up there, I go see the Bills play a lot. I've seen 2 duels between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen when those tickets are not easy to get, but it's just Friday Night Lights has done that. So that's the coolest thing, man. I met Peyton Manning. He was a fan of the show. Met Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers, Brandon Marshall. All these NFL guys are fans of the show. So I just feel so fortunate, and it really has continued to pay dividends being a part of that show.
So Clear Eyes, Full Heart. You
can't lose, baby.
You can't lose.
Yeah.
You're getting tickets. But I think, again, one of the reasons why it does resonate, as you point out, small town America still exists. Yeah. Football in small town America, still huge. The relationships in that show, coach, wife, coach, daughter, quarterback and backup quarterback, running backs, also the relationships between, teenage boys, teenage girls, and growing up and learning about yourself and real life problems, real life stories, and the way it was handled, the way it was shot, the way it was written, the way it was acted. I would be crying half the time watching that show. Scott.
My take on why Friday Night Lights, I think, is still successful right now. And, it's different from a lot of shows nowadays. This country's so divided on so many different issues that shows stop trusting their audience to make the decision on their own for what they feel is right or wrong in any particular situation. And Friday Night Lights very much trusted their audience to take in the story and make their own decisions. We didn't forcefully, willfully, kind of force decisions that we think are the only right decision to make from the show down anybody's throat. The characters are very real on that show in the case that everybody messes up. Everybody makes mistakes. And then it's their correction over time or their growth over time or their inability to do so are on full display in a very natural, very normal way. And I wish that more shows nowadays actually trusted their audience a little bit more instead of telling them how to feel about something, allowing them to actually form those feelings on their own. I think that's something that Friday Night Lights did very, very well. You know, and we also had from the top down a lot of trust in each other. The cast, a lot of us had never done anything before. It's a lot like Ginny and Georgia in that regard. We have a brilliant young cast on Ginny and Georgia. I'm now in the parent generation.
You're the
It's so
OG.
weird,
Yeah.
like going from the young football player, and now I'm the mayor of the town. And I don't work with the kids a lot. So when I got to watch season 3 last week, and a little bit early because, you know, we're doing all the press and everything. And I was just blown away. And I call them kids. They're in their 20s. But I mean, really, honestly, like, there are just stellar performances all across the board in Ginny and Georgia. And I feel like Friday Night Lights had the same kind of talent and took chances on young actors the way that, you know, Ginny and Georgia did too.
Like Jesse Plemons, Michael
Oh.
B. Jordan,
Taylor Kitsch.
right?
You go down
Minka
the list.
Kelly, you know, Amy Teagarden,
Zach Gilford,
obviously
my boy.
Kyle Chandler is the coach, and you know, my gosh,
Yeah, and he really was like him and Connie Britton.
who's phenomenal in everything she does.
They are terrific. And I came in green as could be. That was my first ever show. And I just learned so much, not just about being on camera, but about life, how to carry yourself in this industry, what it's about.
What do you mean? Like, you got a good story from
I think a lot of people just know. Well, the funny thing about Kyle is, you know, he was living the life that I kind of have to live now when I'm on Ginny and Georgia. He was living away from his wife and his 2 daughters because he was in Austin, Texas. They were in Los Angeles.
Right.
And, you know, Kyle would never really go out. And he'd invite us over to his place every now and then. And we'd play like Call of Duty. He had like a projector. We pull the screen down. It's just like staying out of trouble, really focusing, really being professional. That is Kyle to a T. You know, just reading the script again and again, trying to figure out this is what really is meaningful in this scene and where you really lay into that. And I learned a lot just about being a man, about being a good person in the industry. He's really one of the ones that taught me, like, I think a lot of people get into this business and think, oh, it's all about fame. It's all about the next big thing. It's all about, getting to this next level of fame. And that's not what this industry, I mean, in sports is a lot of the same thing. It's a relationship business, you know, treat people well and you shall be treated well. The same thing happens in sports too. I mean, when you see players go from playing for a team, coming back to that same organization as a coach later, continuing on, you know, those are relationships that were built and friendships that were forged and trust that was earned over time. And that's from how people treat each other, you know? So he taught me a lot of that. So did Connie. And just watching the 2 of them on camera, actually, I stole everything I could because I had no other way to learn.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Season 3 of Ginny and Georgia available for streaming next week, Thursday, June 5th, the night that the Knicks will take on the Pacers, right, in the NBA Finals as well. Exclusively on Netflix, which means you could see it here on Roku. Let's do this more often than every decade. Okay, brother?
Dude, I'll come back anytime,
I
man.
love it.
I love mixing it up about sports. I love seeing you guys. Thanks for having me.
And Scott, your
everybody right here.
DirecTV Beach Bowl catch, it's on YouTube. Just watch.
Hey.
Oh, right.
Drop
Everybody
the
check it
dime
out.
to you.
Y'all got to see it.
It's
yeah.
on YouTube and Scott's phone.
All right, y'all.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.